Jasmine Crockett, the most unprofessional U.S. representative in Congress by far. So this ghetto caricature that she and the Democratic Party made up, it's quite fascinating to watch unravel. If you look up Jasmine Crockett prior to being in Congress, entirely different person.
On the Democratic side, James Tallarico defeated Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in that hotly contested primary. In his victory speech, Tallarico talked about leading a movement.
This movement is about whether the people will hold the power in this state and in this country. We launched this underdog campaign 6 months ago in my hometown of Round Rock, Texas. And since then, tens of thousands of Texans have shown up to rally with us in every corner of the state.
Crockett, meantime, cited voting issues in Dallas and said that, in her words, people have been disenfranchised. Now,
yes, despite I didn't want Jasmine to win, I have a lot of problem with this guy. If you take a look at these videos I'm about to show you, you will clearly see who he is.
Is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
But I say all this in context of abortion because before God comes over Mary and we have the incarnation, God asks for Mary's consent, which is remarkable. I mean, go back and read this in Luke. I mean, the angel comes down and asks Mary if this is something she wants to do. And she says, if it is God's will, let it be done. Let it be. Let it happen. So to me, that is an affirmation in one of our most central stories that creation has to be done with consent. You cannot force someone to create. Creation is one of the most sacred acts that we engage in as human beings. But that has to be done with consent. It has to be done with freedom. And to me, that is absolutely consistent with the ministry and life and death of Jesus. And so that's how I come down on that side of the issue.
I believe you've seen the videos. God is non-binary. He struggled to justify abortion like it is a good thing on Joe Rogan. When I saw that video, that was the day I had to just, I don't even look at anything he says to be too serious. That should tell you a lot about these people. He won Jasmine, though Jasmine Crockett is someone I knew that it would be difficult for her to defeat him. A lot of Republicans actually wanted Jasmine, so they should trash him like never before. You've seen what Jasmine has done in the past. Talking any kind of things about Trump. She came out like to be that kind of bold type. Now she has lost her career forever.
It was somebody who was a big fighter in Congress, and we also know that James Tallarico was someone who did the work in the State House. And so ultimately, I think Democrats understand the big threat, which is what Donald Trump is doing to the economy all across the state. We know that job numbers are not doing well for Texans in the state. And I just believe that ultimately, when it comes time for November to vote for who's going to represent the state in the United States Senate, I think that independents as well as Democrats are going to come together to send a big message to Donald Trump in Washington.
And Dana, I mean, as you know, Republicans kind of were doing a little jujitsu in this race.
By the whole thing with Stephen Colbert.
That was a big rocket for him. He had to be a real news nerd to know who he was before then. But that moment where, suddenly, Stephen Colbert, who's obviously a legend among Democrats, says, hey, this kid, Trump and these guys don't want to hear from. I'm going to let you hear from him now. That's when he really, he got $2.5 million, I think, the next day. And it put him on the map. You could see it kind of irritated Jasmine Crockett a little bit that he was getting all this attention because up until then, she was very far ahead. If, in fact, he closes, probably that's the day that started.
Yeah, I definitely think it was true. Like you said, we obviously knew Tallarico. We were covering him, looking at, the kind of personality he was, but it was completely different after that.
Pay for that level.
You can't, which is ironic because it was Jasmine Crockett, who before was getting all the sort of, earned media online.
Scott, you look skeptical.
Well, look, well, let's just admit it was an op, right? I mean, Trump had nothing to do with it. It was CBS's lawyers that had raised internal issues.
No,
about
it's
it.
not,
I mean, it was
that.
a total sort of a hoax about how they positioned it. But I tend to agree.
Details.
I know. I'm glad that's what you think. But I tend to agree.
We should all be standing together, Democrats, Republicans, and we should all be raising hell. But unfortunately, this was always the plan. And so I am grateful for this court order. And as Congressman Allred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it. So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line, and if it means that I gotta come out there with you to wait with you, I will do that.
Yes, I knew that this is how this thing would be. You saw the mafia of these people play. Few weeks ago, at some point, I knew Jasmine was all going to lose. Now, look at what people are putting out on X, absolutely disgusted that the Democrat will celebrate a white man stealing a black woman's job. White supremacy is a serious problem in our country. Even Democrats are now calling out their own party. I thought they usually use this kind of words to Republicans. Now it has changed hands suddenly. Looking at Jasmine, if I were her, I would not even run. I knew that this lady can win. Yeah. Despite the mafia they play, it is now she will know exactly how her party operates. It took them just 2-3 days for this other guy to show up on TV. But the way I see a lot of Republicans are celebrating on social media, that's to tell you that this lady's career is totally over. Jasmine is done. Yeah. She has been running her mouth, saying a lot of things, you need to adjust yourself at some point, because situations like this will always come. She has been too out there. I know, insulting Trump, saying all ridiculous things. Now, in their own party, they didn't even like her. Look at this. Crazy, right? If I'm telling you Republicans are happy, they don't like this lady based on what she has actually been doing.
46%, when you round that up, I had my back turned when you came to me, because I was just going county to county looking through. You go where the people are first, right? In the primary, Harris County is the #1 population center.
If you see some short clips at the end, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip. God bless you abundantly.
Bays once told the award show crowd, "Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about people."
A person's home, it's very easy to understand.
When I look at that video, I don't see both sides in a dogmatic.
The Golden Globe for Best Editing goes to the Justice Department.
This is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
Yes. Of course, this is for the mother.
Babies are upstairs watching. Y'all better be on them damn phones and watching me.
Thank you, everyone. I'm a little in shock about that. Maduro.
Let your hatred and
sit this one out.
Well, these guys.
There you go.
Everybody knew that wasn't true.
A dangerous relative as a likely suspect. A tip that led to her brother Nick. Rob Reiner and Nick had a heated argument the night before at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, being back on zone. In one incident, she said,
"We should have said nothing." The United States to take this family tragedy in which the president had made no comment.
When people ought to have.
Absolute horror.
Hi, Mel Gibson. I'm in Italy.
There is a quota system.
This is my 6th and last year hosting the Grammys. Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish.
Itself, but he utilized.
But I say all this in terms of, in context of abortion, because before God comes over Mary,
did not shake her.
It was Brett Kavanaugh.
Press this country to.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I got voters' remorse. If I knew